Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I tell you, the optics are getting worse and worse for this crowd. I don't know how they're going to fix it. And the media is picking up on everything but what everybody wants to hear about. And I got a couple of clips I'm going to play and some reports, and you crizzle what's going on down there, over there, or whatever. The writing's on the wall with that. And it ain't good for the bad guys. I'll put it that way. So, anyway, I put this meme up on True Social, and it's getting shared quite a bit. You might want to get a screenshot of it. It's down to. Everybody thinks Biden's running the country, but like I said, the optics are getting awful bad. And Joe didn't go to that dinner, stood everybody up. We know why. It's because he's totally out of gas. Like Mr. T said, he's shot. He said, don't you think there's something different about him? I'll never forget that. I'd go back in the archives, see if I can get a copy of that, where he was saying, don't you think something wrong, something weird about him? So, yeah, we're seeing it now. Hi, Donna. How are you? Hi, Nikki. B-Dog. Rubber Toe. Melinda. Miss Mendersu. Yes, you made it. Haha. Sharon, how are you doing? Lone Wolf. Hi, Kim. Hi, Damon. Everybody's rolling in. They worked all night. Joe was on the beach. I wonder if Joe, when he was over there in Vilnius, and John Kerry was over there, I wonder if they went over to see the Obamas and Tom Hanks. I wonder if they did a little drive-by to commiserate with each other. Hi, Lucy. How you doing? Yes, Nikki said, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Helps the videos to get around, folks. So, yeah, I'll do some stories while we're waiting for people to come in. I know a lot of you have heard about this young lady here. Who put this up? Representative Misha Maynor. My name is Representative Misha Maynor, and today I made the decision to leave the Democrat Party. I represent a blue district in the city of Atlanta. So it wasn't a political decision for me. It was a moral one. I will never apologize for being a black woman with my own mind. So, yeah, I was sitting there thinking about that. I heard about it yesterday, was it, or the other day? There's got to be pressure on some of these politicians. You know, they're all trying to go with the old school Democrat marching orders, civil rights, Martin Luther King, let's all, keep pushing for our civil rights. But I can guarantee you their constituents, you think of, I worked many years ago at a school for the moniker was emotionally disturbed children. But really they were the older term, juvenile delinquents from a lot of inner cities. And yeah, they were tough and crude and rough around the edges. But I tell you, one thing they always got concerned or scared about was their aunties, of all things. When their aunties came around, that's the way they'd say aunties. I say my aunt, but they say aunt. So, you can see it with the Aunt Esther pillbox hat on and the Jackie O purse and pearls. They got out of church and they run into seeing this stuff that's going on. This lady here was probably getting visits by a bunch of aunties fresh out of church. It's just getting so obvious. The lines are getting drawn brighter and brighter. Which side are you going to be on? And we'll go over what side that the former Democratic Party has now become. And people are jumping ship. I mean, they're just not going to be associated with it. So Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? She looks normal. And if that picture was taken, after she made her decision, it gives people a lot of peace of mind when they know in their hearts they made the right decision. When they're having a radical viewpoint, trying to fight reality, fight with what they know in their heart is wrong, but trying to communicate it as somehow being right, it's going to show in your face, But I'm sure she's more at peace with herself now that she's taken a stand. So anyway, kudos to her, and I hope it's the beginning of a journey that she finds fulfilling and rewarding. And like a friend of mine said, he lived to be 96 years old. His father lived to be 98. He said up until the last day of my father's life, he always was learning something new. And we can all look at life that way. So anyway, here we go. You don't need, like with some of these characters, they show up at these protests. They got pre-made signs by some non-governmental organization. You don't need a lot. Piece of cardboard and a magic marker. Know how to spell a little bit. Know a little bit about history, like dates and stuff, and books. So this guy made his own sign, and I say share that around. Henri, how you doing? Hi, Georgia. Mary, how you? Gloria. Everybody's rolling. Hold on a second. I got a notification. Let me see here. Oh, Lone Wolf. This Lone Wolf stopped by, got me coffee. This program is brought to you by Lone Wolf. Where's my special effects? Let me see. I'll put some hearts up. Thank you, Lone Wolf. I appreciate that very much. Here's some hearts for you. Got me a coffee. And I'll put some booms up, too. Let's see if this one works. There, poo, pow, pop. So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out. Be a co-sponsor along with Lone Wolf. Henry sponsored last night's show. I don't know what was going on there. I sponsored that myself. So anyway, here we go. I don't know if I got to put this up last time. Here we go. I have a lot in here about electric cars. I never got on that tangent. Boy, that is turning into a huge disaster. With what we used to call Detroit going with electric cars. I mean, talk about going woke, going broke. That is going to be a disaster for the car industry. It is just a ridiculous construct. People get these stars in their eyes, and unless you've got a big high dollar type of car like a Tesla, even Teslas, you run into the problems where you just can't get where you want to go in a reasonable amount of time. It's asinine, and the technology's just not there. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Phil, how you doing? Thank you, Lone Wolf. Haha. I gave you some booms. So, anyway, there's a meme you may want to copy and pass around. But there, since I mentioned it, because I got it here in the studio, I might as well put it up. One of the problems, here's the video if you care to watch it. Jeff buys cars. They don't know how to fix them at the dealers. They're complicated. There's liability issues. I was watching, when I first started watching Frank on the NPC show, I've mentioned him a couple times in past broadcasts. He had an electric vehicle, and he kept taking it back for them to fix it, and they couldn't fix it. So he quit making his payments on thing. He went back. So it's a loss, lose for everybody. But here it's like, help. No one knows what to do with broken electric cars. What happens if you crash an EV? No idea, says car industry. And a nice couple up there says, will we get the EV back? And the dealer says, not in this lifetime. So, you think about it. Somebody brings something to your shop that has been an fender bender or is having a problem, and you try to work on it. They don't know. I mean, you can, at least with some degree of certainty, predict like when a tie rod needs to be changed, basic things. And computer check the cylinders for how they're firing right, and the fuel injection rails, how they're out functioning, that they can be safe. But now with electric cars and fires, they can't predict it. And they're going to, as this goes on, they're going to play a heck of a time getting their workers insured for conducting repairs and recalls and things like that. Plus the fact they can't sell the damn things. There's thousands of them sitting on lots that nobody wants any parts of. That's right. That's right, Don. Electric cars are sitting around lots, way too expensive, and you've got a Subaru. So, yeah, remember the commercial? Everybody walks by, kicks tires. It's a Subaru. Oh, Phil, would you like to buy a vowel? Yeah. Use letters for vowels, folks. Lone Wolf said, I've been seeing a lot more pickups on the road of late where I live. I had let's see if I crop that picture out. I had I might have to go out of the studio to get that. I had a video that somebody made that said, you don't see any. Remember when they had Ford Rangers, the little Mazda B1000s, the Datsun pickup trucks, Nissan pickup trucks, Chevy S10, Dodge Dakota, two-seater small pickups. Remember? They're not making them now. You can't buy them now. I mean, 5-speed, 4-cylinder little pickup trucks. Forget it. You know why? Because the CAFE standards, there's some kind of workings in that where it's just not worth the car company's efforts to put out a small pickup truck, which used to be all the rage. Great gas mileage, utilitarian. You could get stuff done. You could move your furniture. You could go buy something, new mattresses or whatever, put them in your truck. Now you can't even buy these things. I said it last year. Bureaucrats are so arrogant and stupid that if you let them, they would screw up the wheel. They'd screw up the wheel. They'd find a way to screw up the concept of the wheel. They're already screwing up something as basic as cooking on gas. So here we go. I don't know if I put this up last time I was up. Mexican word of the day, sodas. I don't know. Did I put that up last time? If I didn't, here it is again. But you can get a copy of that too. Yeah, Georgia. That's right. $100,000. Boy, those batteries are expensive. Yeah, mid-size trucks cost more than full-size truck, but they don't make little trucks anymore, like the Chevy S10 and little Toyota pickups and stuff like that. And anybody with a brain, that's where you would go. And I didn't put this up because everybody was talking about it. But one day we hear the Netherlands government collapses. And there you got all the farmers, right? All the farmers protesting, all the pressure they're putting on the economy in the Netherlands. And people are predicting, well, that's one of many that are in the EU that's going to fall. Well, then what's the next thing here coming out of the Netherlands? Let me see. Where's that at? Here. The government collapses, but then they have Miss Netherlands 2023. The guy on the far left of the picture won. Yeah, that's Miss Netherlands. So here's a better picture. Get an idea of the pure beauty. Netherlands best. Here, conservative blitz, a biological male, won the Miss Netherlands 2023 competition. Could eat corn on the cob through a picket fence with that overbite. And but I'm sure they got a good personality, right? Isn't that the old saying? They got a good personality. So anyway, I had that in my studio. I didn't get a chance to put it up. I had this in the studio too. I might as well clean the studio out from last time I was up. Coke found in White House, Trump to be indicted. So you got a picture of Trump with a can of Coke. And, remember how they raved about 2 scoops of ice cream that is salt or his pepper shaker. His pepper shaker was a little taller and so on. I mean, it never ended with these clowns. And how they have the temerity. Let me see if I got a video. I got a video of Mika. I got a couple of videos I'm going to put in my studio. Let's see. Where is my videos that I copied? Here we go. And let's see. Oh, I got one about James Comey when he was FBI director being grilled by, what's his name? Anyway, I'll play that another day. I can't think of his name. He used to be in Congress. Trey Gowdy. I think there's something going on with that, but we can talk about that another time. But here's Mika. We've got this unclaimed cocaine in the White House. We've got a whistleblower being arrested or indicted. We've got multiple whistleblowers either in hiding, using fake names, all these scandals that if it was Trump, they'd be going nuts. If Donald Trump Jr. jaywalked, they'd be going nuts. But no, they're concerned about Joe and they're blaming his staff for his problems. Listen to Mika, how it makes her mad the way the staff treats Joe. So I'll go ahead and cut my mic off and play.
They also managed the schedule very carefully.
Yeah, I think his staff needs to own his age. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think they do a good job helping out the president. And I'm not talking about it like, I'm just saying if you are managing a president's schedule and you are managing a president getting on stage and getting off stage and getting on planes and getting off planes, and yes, he's 80. You need to be there for him, and you need to make a pathway. And you sure as hell better make sure he doesn't fall on a sandbag. And I blame the staff for that. I mean, these are the things that are going to hurt him. These are things that are going to be played on a loop. Okay? Let him do his job. Let him do his speeches. Let him work on policy. Let him do his connections in Congress, unlike any president that we've seen. I don't know, since Clinton. But my God, make sure your Secret Service, you're his staff, that you were there and you're telling him what's next. And it's not because, don't take this as, oh, he can't even get from one place to another. When you're busy and you're on stage, and we've been on stage, right. I've done speeches, and I'm so nervous. I'm doing the speech. I'm trying to get it right. And when it's done, I don't know which way to go, and I'm looking for direction. So do a better job, because you can't have these video images of the president tripping or the president going the wrong way. It's not going to work in this presidency, because his age is going to be a factor. His age is going to be a factor, and it's your job to make sure he gets from one place to another. He can handle the presidency. You have to handle his schedule and where he goes.
Well, and the schedule.
It makes me mad.
The scheduling is so important. You have, with every president, you have different strengths, you have different weaknesses.
It makes me mad, she said. So it's a staff fault and a Secret Service fault. Somebody from the staff could have done something when Joe was with Prince Charles in a daze out there reviewing the troops wandering around. The staff could do something when he's standing on stage talking to himself and making no sense. So I figured, Mika, you can have the job. You can be in charge of making sure Joe is protected, since he is such an astounding president, way better than anybody else you've seen since Clinton. What a joke. This is what they're talking about when this cocaine business and millions, tens of millions of dollars from China, okay, all the controversies and scheming and garbage coming out of Ukraine. This is what she's talking about. But like I said, she can be in charge. She can take care of Joe. One caveat, okay? First of all, they'll pay you more than you're making it at MSNBC, okay? But you got diaper duty, okay? 24-hour diaper duty, all right? So you go ahead and take charge of everything and make sure Joe's okay, so he can be the fantastic president, so he can be all he can be. So anyway, bring on more videos of Potato Head doing what he does best. Well, yeah, I could get plenty of clips of him bumbling around, but it's obvious to everybody. But the entire media is enveloped in protecting him, even though there are some signs of cracking going on that when I think about it, this little stunt by Mika could have been just a way to bring out and highlight his frailty. And even though she's blaming the staff, she's putting it out there. Maybe that's the best they can do under these circumstances. But like this situation here, I talked about it last night. CNN panel trashes Joe Biden over his refusal to acknowledge his seventh grandchild, Navy Joan Roberts. But what I put out the other night was a Washington Times article, I think. No, a New York Times article. Now, this is getting on CNN. Quote, this story is sad and disturbing on so many levels. This is revolving around a 4-year-old. It is so incongruent with who we've been told Joe Biden is forever. Yeah, well, that's what you've been telling the American people. I don't know who's been telling you that Joe is the opposite of what he is. But as McCarthy said, somebody's lying here, okay? Here, I'll put another meme up for you. This is a good one. Pass around. Get the few remaining TDS characters all bristled up, aggravated, so they can't sleep. Well, let's see what's going on here. Lock them all up together, Ian said. That's right. So I didn't even know that was her name till today. Nikki, poor Navy, is better. She is better off being away from that pack of animals. Yeah, he's making our country look foolish, Donna. But, look at the Netherlands. Your whole government goes backside up. And next thing you know, you got this character. Ugh. So anyway, yeah. She can take care of Joe. Diaper duty. You got 24-hour diaper duty. So let's see. Here, yeah, I had this video. The difference between Creepy Joe, who put this up? Tim Young. Tim runs his mouth. Trump Saturday versus Biden Saturday. And you all saw the great welcome he got at UFC. But I'll go ahead and cut my mic off and play.
So, as you might expect for International Fight Week, a lot of people are in the building, but no one needs more security than the former president of the United States, obviously a really good friend of Dana White.
Oh my word! I mean, listen, he's a massive, massive fighter. I mean, that just shows how big this event is.
So yeah, there's a big difference, but things have been kind of quiet today, though. Mr. T put out some tweets about that E. Jean Carroll. I got some articles on that. I'll go over with you. But here's another video I had a couple of nights ago where somebody is making some green off of this situation. I try to put this where it's got other stuff sticking around from the side so the rhythm can't catch it that quickly. But anyway, somebody's cooking up Trump burgers.
Lunch at the legendary Trump Burger, and I walked in and I was immediately taken back. It's really funny. I mean, Trump stuff everywhere. The whole menu is centered around Trump. It's really a fun place, man. And I mean, look at this. You got the Trump name on the bun, branded. This is a giant burger. It's 2 8-ounce patties and 4 slices of cheese. Wow. Trump Burger, I'm going to give it big thumbs up. It's in Belleville, Texas. You need to get your ass over here and get you a burger. I got the Trump Tower. It's a double meat. It's really big. Thumbs up.
I want one. That looks good. I want one. I don't even know where it's at, but hopefully they get a chain going, make a bunch of money. It's like I said, that one meme I put up, socialists want everything you have but your job. So we don't have to worry about any competition coming through. And I had, I wonder if I still have that up there, where those people put a sign in their window where they said they didn't want any, would not serve any Trump supporters. I don't know if I have it in my, yeah, I do. Wow, don't you know? I didn't crop it, but anyway. Since the Supreme Court ruled that businesses can discriminate, no sales to Trump supporters. We only sell to churches that fly a pride flag. Well, let's see who's still in business, okay? 6 months from now. Let's see who's still in business. Oh, I got a lot of memes. A lot of memes I didn't get put up the other night. Here you go. A speed sign. Ha ha ha. There you go. Reelect 45. Mr. Kibler says it's in Texas. Well, I ain't driving all the way down here. 13 Bell T, how you doing? So, and if I missed anybody, I apologize. Hi, Jared. No upper arm tattoos. I don't understand. Well, plenty of people got them. Let's see what else I got going on here. I've got these different memes that I didn't get to put up. I know I've played this before, but I'm going to play it again since I just spotted it. After I put this meme up. Here, I'll play a video after I put this meme up. I want to put this girl up. There you go. Go ahead and get a screenshot of that and share it around. what it's all going to be remembered as. Hi, Ken. How you doing? Jerry, how you? That's right, Nikki. We're not going to buy a thing off of them. Don't give them one rusty penny. One rusty penny to laugh at them when you walk by. But anyway, here, let me play this for you again. Because this video wasn't taken very long ago. I'm going to play the kids playing music, too. I'm going to play that tonight, too. I want to play that. But anyway, remember this? Remember this crazy woman? Have you got anybody in your life like this?
The election was tomorrow. Who would you vote for? Trump?
Not Trump.
Not Trump?
Not ever Trump.
Why?
I mean, I don't even think there's any reason why I should answer that. Seriously.
Can I have one reason? I'm just curious.
He has been a liar. He has been all about himself. Everything he's done, he's ruined this country. He's been a cancer, in my opinion, for this country.
How though?
All the what? Do you ever watch the news or not?
If the election was
Well, can't get enough of that old bat. So we still got him around. Here, I'll play this for you. I wanted to play this the other night. If I ever get to where I got to take a break, I will put this on a loop and say, hey, guys, I got to put the phone down a little bit, use the little boy's room. I will play this over and over till I get back. How you like that? I'll put that on a loop. And that's when you raise your kids right. You know, I tell you, this whole business of video games, and, you know, I know people have issues with some of them, and they should. But what kids can do and how quickly they pick up things, like that young boy there at the end playing the fiddle and them all playing the musical instruments, but how they handle computers, how they handle video games, how they can figure things out. You know, it's amazing. We just got to get them to figure out when people are steering them wrong, right? Let's see who's in the chats. Let's see. Who's snowman or woman at the White House? Oh, I'm not sure, Phil. That's got with was that a Peanut 24? I can't figure that one out. It's too much in code for me. Too much. That's right, Jerry Lee. Put it on the bucket list. Get a T-burger, a Trump burger. Yeah, it's an old bat, Nicky said. That's right. Brainwashed. Get a life. Yeah, we're all on the same page there. Hi, Outlandish. Oh, yeah. Yep, I'm sure with you around, he'll get a better night's sleep. How you doing, Tennessee? Nice to see ya. So, anyway, that's just some of the stuff I didn't get a chance to put up the other night. Here we go. Here's another one. So Christopher Wray was on the hot seat today. And it's interesting. Interesting. And we're going to see how that plays out. But I remember we were told, trust Wray. So, and I mentioned in the past that he gave up $9 million a year working for a law firm because Mr. T asked him to be FBI director. So, is he taking notes, you know, and just letting them get as much rope as they need? And he's just taking the slings and arrows in public. And what's the way to legally get information out? Have Congress demand it when they have a legal right to demand it. Okay. Court filings, depositions, all that type of stuff is a good way to get out information that they normally try to hide. Hi, Ivana. How are you doing? So, hi, the cat. How are you? 223 DMR. I'll stick with 223 if that's okay. Ha ha ha. So, now let's see. Here we go. Here's another one. I see. I get all these memes in there, and I get on a tangent and start talking, and then they're still in my studio a couple of days later. There you go. You will never convince me that people who dress like this just want to be left alone. So that's one for your Facebook page. Dylan Mulvaney is in Peru because he doesn't, or she, I got to get that right, because that individual doesn't feel safe in my own country. No, I don't think Wray's a commie. Not at all. Not at all. So anyway, here we go. Here's one to celebrate where we don't have to bake somebody else's cake. Ha ha ha. Memes like this drive them nuts. Bake our cake, bake it. Ha ha ha. That's what the nuns, when I went to school, the nuns said, when they think they're she or him, we call them shims. Savannah, you must have went to Catholic school. Remember them nuns who walk around, crack your knuckles with a, no, I didn't do it to the girls, but I got my knuckles cracked with a ruler. Here you go. There we go. Now, I'm going to start getting into some of the stuff I had for today. Now I've got most of these memes out of the way. And, I was talking about those CUE drops. And I had this article. This was, I don't know how long, 3 or 4 days ago. I had this in there. Something else that most Americans don't know about, but it's somebody they know about. Allison Mack, Smallville, convicted for her role in trafficking, and that's that cult called Nexium. A lot of people don't know about, but who else went to jail over this is the heir to the Seagram's fortune. Okay, I think she got like 10 years or something like that, 6 to 10 years, I can't remember. And the other one is Peter Nygaard. He's gotten like 100 years in prison. So word on the street is Allison Mack is cooperating. And the timing on this, her getting out of jail, and then all this stuff coming out, and the movie coming out. So that was tucked away in my studio, and I didn't get a chance to put that out. But if people ask, what about the sex trafficking thing, this is a good article headline to show them. This happened a couple of, more than that, 4 years ago, when they arrested the Nexium bunch, the heir to the Seagram's fortune, a Smallville star, Allison Mack, and people going to jail for 100 years. So yeah, it's not something that just popped up out of the woodwork. Been going on. Just a little hard evidence. And this is another one that I didn't get a chance to put up that most of you are familiar with, but if you have a friend that needs to see a little bit of proof, Rolling Stones, Washington Post praise pro P3DO foul movie in cuties attacked anti child. Okay, S3X trafficking movie, The Sound of Freedom. So yeah, that's a good one to show them. And along with that vein, here's something else. Right, we haven't heard much out of France, but they burned down churches over there. The news isn't reporting it. I said where they burned down a library full of medieval books. Okay, we're talking books a half a millennium old, churches. We already know about Notre Dame burning, but here yet another church in France burns. L'Église Saint-Georges in Descartes dates back to the 12th century, almost 1,000 years, the 1100s. The de-Christianization of France continues. I was going to get pictures of Somali pirates and put on there, the French Navy has arrived, because we all know that is not indigenous French people doing this type of thing in that country. So that's just tying up loose ends from my last 2 or 3 broadcasts. Here, something I've shown before, a YouTube channel that is very interesting. And Paco Rivera is the guy that has this channel, and he's very polite, very nice man, and he does his homework. He will tell about what the person did, show photos, news articles, and discuss what's going on for people who are being scheduled for the ultimate punishment. And it's amazing, like this person here, the terrible thing he did to a very young lady, very young girl. And his case is over 20 years old. He's been sitting around. And what he did was nothing less than evil and cold, very cold-blooded. So, yeah, getting people to see what's going on, because we forget so often the victims. We forget them so often. And it is tying into the age of this victim, okay, it's tying into what we're confronting, not just as a nation, but around the world, the reality of the devaluing of human life, particularly young people, okay, that they're being targeted because they're vulnerable, they're helpless, and that's what they prey upon. Like I said, we've got to redefine what is a human. Instead of saying fetus, I said it was the most horrific word that modern so-called scholars has ever created, or doctors or anything. That was equated with animal life until 1999. Okay, fetus. Prior to that, it's always been referred to as a baby. So here's a meme from Dr. Ben Carson. If it's not a human being, why are you harvesting organs from it? Because, it is a lot of work just trying to get the word out about this movie, the trafficking part. But as Jim Caviezel said, the first chance he got was it's just scratching the surface. We haven't got into the harvesting part yet. So most major film critics boycotting Sound of Freedom despite massive box office success. No reviews from New York Times, Los Angeles Times. And I noticed people pointing out in the chats, we know it already, but that they're trying to tie it to the 17th letter. And a lot of people pointed out in the chats that the 17th letter hadn't even got started. It didn't start until October of 2017. The movie was already in post-production by that time. So, but they're tying it to the 17th letter. When the 17th letter didn't even exist. It wasn't posting. So that's another thing that needs to be put out to offset some of these people. Here we go. A definition that you might want to copy and share it with your sensitive friends. Let me get it where it's got a black background for the, there you go. It's easier to get a screenshot that way. You can set your own borders. That's right. It's time to see those at the top who are involved. Use a 3 for an E, Havana, on one of those E's, and that will keep me out of trouble. So, but anyway, we got a problem. We got a problem, and it's being pushed by the press. It's being pushed by these film critics. It's being pushed by Hollywood. It's being pushed by beauty pageants. It's being pushed everywhere. Like RFK said, the 3-letter agency, Clowns in America, today is the biggest funder of journalism around the world because they're the ones getting this message out. Okay? The message. But we're going to counter it. We're going to counter it. We are the news now. Let me show you what's going on with you, Sizzle, before I get into some of these other pictures. I'll put that up in a second, but let me put this up. Here's a funny for you. FBI conducting surveillance of far-right terrorist training ground from Babylon Bee. Planet Fitness. Because, which was it? MSNBC? Let me get this small enough where you can get a decent screenshot of it. There you go. I think it was MSNBC put this up. When it gets big enough, you'll be able to see it. Here we go. Memology put this up. Yeah, it was MSNBC. I like Memology 101 when he's not taken down. Being healthy is far right. Ha, ha, ha. The far right's obsession with fitness is going digital. So, opinion piece, why the far right is really into home fitness. And they superimpose that picture of someone popping a bicep over people giving a salute. The NAZI salute. Can you believe that? So we know who's behind that. I just showed you that, and Robert F. Kennedy just told us. The C.I.A. right? And, of course, it's a lot easier for them to get after our young ones. They're more impressionable, and it's more easy for them to physically go after them, too, because they're weaker and they're helpless. But here's on you, Tizzle. Odin's, man, he keeps getting kicked off right and left. Every foggy day he's getting kicked off. But here he's highlighting this channel. Kids Alphabet YouTube channel reads an abortion picture book. And there's the host. So, let me show you this video. because this is a push to further cheapen human life, okay? I'll let you guys listen to it and form your own opinion. We can discuss it after. I won't give my opinion till after it plays and I see what you all think of this person here.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included, and I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion. I will let a doctor who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body. I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
What the hell were we just watching? There's so many problems with this to unpack. So many problems. First of all, this person wouldn't even be able to dream of having the types of surgery they're talking about if our healthcare system had not been nationalized by the Obamas and by the removal of Ted Stevens senator from Alaska. I've gone over that a number of times. Who was tried for quote crimes, and then they found out there was evidence withheld or altered, and he was cleared, but he lost his seat. And that gave Obama the supermajority he needed to take over our healthcare system. Now we're paying for what this person is talking about doing. To have a uterus transplant, eggs and all, and to purposefully try to conceive for the sole purpose of having an abortion. That is how decrepit and how far we've fallen. Use a capital I's for L's, Tubala. Do me that favor, okay? Capital I's for L's. Next time you put that word in there. That's right, Miss Menderson. So, remember one of my broadcasts I showed where they were working on artificial uteruses, and I put a picture of them up. I don't know if you all remember that, but that's what this is one of the things these people are cooking up. And your kids are vulnerable in school. They're vulnerable just clicking around Utizzle. Here you go. Share that with the parents-teacher conference or whatever it is. What'd you learn in school today, Janie? My teacher said it's none of your business and my new name is Jake. So there you have it. And this has been going on for decades, and we're just now tuning into the party, and it's like, what the hell has been going on? Here we got the colleges. 40% of Brown University students identify as whatever the hell letters they got up there. I can't keep up with it, and I'm not going to try. But what it is a state-sponsored religion. That's what it is. And we're funding this alteration that, we say, hey, I don't like the nose I was born with. I want to get a nose job. That's elective. Elective. And you have to pay for that yourself. Or you have to pay an extra premium on your policy. You have to do something. You don't just get it for free. But hold on to your hats, folks. Here's one I got off of Bernie on Truth and Art TV. Surgeon admits performing TRAN S3 actual surgeries on young children. Take a good look. Remember what I said about that unnatural colors for hair? Anybody trying to get in a professional position? That's a dead ringer that they have a mental problem. Unnatural, shocking colors like Circus Olay. There he is with pink hair. And my understanding he's from Canadian trained. That doesn't surprise me because you can go to Canada and they'll help you cut the lights out, for a hangnail in your foot. Cut the lights out, you know what I mean? So anyway, here's an article. I won't read all of it, but you can get a screen grab if you want to read it all later. It's a little fuzzy, but if you expand it, this university surgeon says he's performing irreversible surgeries on prepubescent children. Now that is, I think it mentions the ages of 8 years old in here. And he says that it's a very complicated issue. Dr. Blair Peters, a Canadian-trained, quote, queer surgeon at Oregon Health and Services University. Well, it's going to be very simple at a certain point. When this, what hits the fan, this person right here ain't going to walk away from it. Look what I pointed out with SNL cast and crew is being sued. I talked about that probably 6 months ago, half a year ago. What happened after that? This so-called writer's strike where all these late night comics are off the air. Writer's strike in a pig's eye. So keep an eye on your mailbox there, pink hair. And you might be next. And the first thing they do is sue you, just like Epstein. That's what happened to him. He got involved in a lawsuit that turned into criminal charges. And whatever his story is, it is. But Ghislaine Maxwell is cooling her heels for the next 20 plus years. Here we have California Assembly blocks legislation that would have made child trafficking punishable by life in prison. Human trafficking is currently defined as a non-serious crime and cannot be considered a strike under California's 3 strikes law. The California Assembly Committee on Public Safety has quashed a bill that would have increased the charges for human trafficking despite it passing through the state Senate with bipartisan support. So, what's the counter move? A conservative watchdog organization is calling on the IRS to audit George Soros non-governmental organization. Watchdog to IRS, audit George Soros-backed immigration group, because we know that is where the majority of the trafficking is occurring right now at the border. So, I've gone almost an hour. Let me see. I'll go over some Ukraine stuff next time I post. I'll just show you this real quick. Shows you how Zelensky was being treated in Vilnius, pretty much ignored, showing up with that goofy little suit on, Even the people of Ukraine have got to be looking at these pictures going, what the hell is he thinking? So somebody somebody put up another picture of it. Let me see. Here we go. Zelensky, welcome. So he's not going to be, they're not going to be putting them in United Nations. And here, he said the other day, Clandestine put it out. Stoltenberg gave us a political news speak. Zelensky tweeted it himself. It's unprecedented and absurd when time frame is not set for neither the invitation nor for Ukraine's membership, while at the same time vague wording about conditions is added, even for inviting Ukraine. It seems there is no readiness neither to invite Ukraine to NATO or to make it a member of the alliance. So Stoltenberg kind of jerked him around, and when they met in Vilnius, this picture is very telling. Here's Stoltenberg, and here's Zelensky. Yeah. I don't think you're getting a handshake, and you're not getting in the UN. Zelensky looks like an Oompa Loompa. That's right, Tennessee. So, yeah. But they're going to do something. Oh, here we go. Here's something that happened back on June 9th that I never got a chance to put up, and the news didn't say a word. June 9th, this was. Ukraine officially acknowledged responsibility for blowing up the Crimean Bridge on October 8th, 2022. This was stated by Deputy Defense Minister of Ukraine, Anna Maliar. According to her, the goal was to disrupt Russian logistics. Recall that earlier, Ukraine officially denied its responsibility for undermining the bridge. The bridge was damaged less than a month after the sabotage of Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas lines, or gas pipelines. So, not a peep. Not a peep. And we'll talk about it more in the next broadcast, but here you have NBC. Is that NBC? Yeah. Trump investigation. Justice Department reverses course on defending Trump in E. Jean Carroll case. So the gist of this is that since Trump was an acting president when she made her accusations, and he told the world she was a crazy old loon, he was acting in his official capacity as president. Now they're saying he wasn't, and they're not going to defend him. DOJ backed off its earlier position that Trump was acting within the scope of his presidential duties when he made, quote, crude and disrespectful comments about the writer. So he's president of the United States. He gets some 30-year-old accusation from a crazy old loon. A libelous accusation. So he refutes it in very strong terms, and they say he wasn't acting under his presidential responsibilities. So, yeah, it's plain as the nose on your face. You see what a POS we're dealing with as far as the Justice Department, whoever's pulling the strings. Somebody put this up. Until we can afford prosthetics and equipment for every single wounded warrior, we have no business paying for sex changes. Retweet if you agree. Now, I agree, but I agree that we should be able to pay for every single wounded warrior. But even then, we have no business paying for that other stuff. Even then. That's elective. You get the cards you're dealt just like everybody else. Your arms, legs, your arms work, your legs work. Everything works, and you want to make it not work. That's your business. You find another way to pay for it. Don't ever pay for that kind of stuff. This country doesn't need to pay for it. And here, I'll play this little video for you real quick. How many of you out in the chats remember seeing replays of tallies on MSNBC or CNN flip? You had Trump, Biden numbers, and then they just reversed themselves. Okay? Well, anyway, I'll just play this little clip here. You might want to copy it and send it to a friend.
You vote, you vote at a precinct, and a precinct to vote either goes through an adjudication route if there's a problem, or directly to the precinct tabulators. The precincts transmit these directly to the county, and the county to the state, while all three transmit back to cloud servers for live totaling. Those servers transmit to data aggregators like Edison, who then transmit that data directly to, for instance, the National Election Pool.
Here's another example of vote switching on election night, this time in Georgia.
Here, we have clear visibility of an event that occurred at the county level as we compare two data sources. In this case, Donald Trump reported 29,391 votes at 9/11 local time in Bibb County, Georgia. Simultaneously, Joe Biden was reported to have 17,218 votes. Minutes later, at the next reported time update from the precinct data sources, Donald Trump is reported to have 17,218 votes, and Biden now has 29,391 votes. A clear and exact switch of vote totals between candidates.
So I remember it. Tennessee said he remembers it, and I'm sure many of you remember. It was played over and over, but all the channels we usually watch got kicked off of Utizzle, and we had to go all over the place to find them and see those clips. Those clips are going to be coming out, okay? And this is just one of them, and we will be seeing more in the future, along with the other stuff that I'm talking about or have been talking about. Many of us have been talking about with the child trafficking and the organ transplants and things of that nature. Correct? We'll be seeing a lot of that coming out. And hey, we're the news. We knew. Let me see. I'm just checking the chats. I talked with a friend who is active duty military where I work. Same job as I did when I was military. Whoops, whoa. He said his shop has, oh my word. Yeah. That's got to get, we can't function that way. The military cannot function that way. I don't give a daggone what anybody says. And let me get my other meme down here that I didn't put up. But this is not an acceptable military right here. It's not. And it's going to get straightened out. Make asylums great again. And hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. Here we go. I found another meme. Here we go. This is one for the, I think Facebook would let you put on your page and let some lefties see it. Putin is losing the war in Iraq. Y'all really voted for this child-sniffing vegetable? So anyway, I'm going to, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And please remember, this is a viewer-supported, creator-supported broadcast only. I've got a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I appreciate Lone Wolf for sponsoring tonight's show. And show before last, Tennessee, and Hilarious too, and a mystery person who I appreciate. I thank you all for your help. And I'm going to play Putin tearing it up. And then I'm going to play the kids playing us some music, some little country music. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. You all have a great night. And this is Mountain Man over and out.
You want to play games? Okay. I'll play with you. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.